Welcome to Two Generations, One Mic, and today's episode is called
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Well, I mean, I can relate. I'm sure every guy's like, we can all relate
Phil
to that.
Dunphy. Sawyers.
I am a bad boy. I do. I know all the words to Wicked. I'm telling you, it's coming out.
You know how I know you're gay?
Yeah, I know, right? No, but today we actually have a guest.
Yes, we have Chad Cooper, a.k.a. Coop. And who is Coop? Why is he with us?
Coop is with us because I've known Coop for a long time. So I think I said
You guys
before.
used to date, right?
No, we never dated. It was
We're on hiatus.
some physical things. It's a couple times airport restrooms. Nothing really, nothing that meant anything.
Ew,
No,
David.
no. So we know each other because I mentioned before I was previously in a lot of my career was in radio, television, and so during my radio career, I had a morning show, and we did charity events all the time. We played charity basketball games, and we were out for blood, playing teachers and coaches, trying to win these games. And at the time, Chad had just graduated high school, and he was the 3-point shooting champion for the high school. So I went out and grabbed him and recruited him to be on my morning radio show, but to also play on our basketball team. So you were, what, 17, 18?
17. That was in 92, 93. I was a ringer. I was probably the ringer.
Yeah, on the team.
So it was like a project graduation event where you raise money for the high school, but your team wanted to win every time.
Yes, we
So
did.
yeah, there wasn't going to be, we're going to finish, we're going to lose to the teachers or the shop teachers or the coaches or whatever it was. So
Wait, so you're like 50 now, Coop?
I'm 50. Yeah, 50 years old, born in 74. So
A long time.
I
It
see
has.
I see you like a kid. Like I don't
Well, I
know.
still
like,
act like a kid a lot of times.
Maybe that's
where
why.
the bad boy part comes in.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, but you've grown so much as a person
Oh, yeah.
since I've known you and career. You start out,
well,
kind
you
of.
hope so. I mean,
Well, he started
17
out
to 50.
on the radio program, but then he branched out. He's always into sports. He was a great sports writer, and then now entertainment writer.
Right.
And you do that for print publications.
Yeah, the Examiner newspaper in Beaumont. I'm the entertainment editor. Started in '02 as sports. Then but my real passion was music and entertainment. I would go, I've never really been outside of my town growing up, just family vacations in Tennessee, going to see Elvis's Graceland, in the 70s, parents driving up. So, and staying at a Howard Johnson and getting to swim in the swimming pool, that was our summers, right? Then I met you. Next thing you know, I'm going to all these concerts and meeting all these, famous people and backstage. And
Michael Jordan.
There's my idol and Michael Jordan when he's playing baseball. That was 1997. It was just an unreal experience. And I'm like, okay, I love sports, but entertainment and music is my true passion, not playing it, just wanting to be a part of it. And then, going to music festivals with you introducing me to all these executives when, you're gallivanting with NSYNC, Christina Aguilera, and I'm right there, with you, being a part of this. Linkin Park,
I was in elementary school, and those were my jams.
I know that you're elementary school and all this is going on. Foo Fighters, ZZ Top, Dave Matthews Band. The list goes on and on.
The list goes on and on. So I thought, okay, I want to be a part of this somehow. I'm not a musician, but I want to write about it, concert review. So I had the opportunity in the early 2000s I started working for a radio station in the promotions department. Never wanted to be on air, didn't want to be that. I just wanted to be the guy that described the atmosphere for people, for readers or listeners. Mm-hmm. And so I got a job with the newspaper. I've been there since '02. Gradually became the entertainment editor. And I started like, okay, well, I know Mark Landis, and all these big concerts are coming to Houston, to New Orleans. This is perfect for me. I can go review a concert. I can interview, Motley Crue. Mark can get me, my foot in the door, a little old me, and that's how it happened. And next thing you know, I'm on tour shooting for Coldplay. It's just on and on and on. And I was able to grow into concert photography, not a wedding photographer, not a senior portrait, not anything like that, an event nightlife concert photographer. and doing the entertainment stuff and meeting different people and having the opportunity to work for musicians and then casinos, working product shots, doing all kind of stuff like that. So I've really, really grown into that little skinny guy that would sit in the corner and drill 3-pointers for you in 1994 when we're playing BFE high school and we're up by 25. And these people are like, does he really work on the radio? And Mark's like, yeah, that's my intern, and I'm just like, swoosh, swoosh, right?
Absolutely.
So it's really, really grown into something really, really cool, man, that I would never trade it for the world. But it started with you, and you were, brought me out of the country to Mexico. Hey, we're taking a listener's trip to Mexico City. Do you want to go? Absolutely. I'd lose my wallet on the first day, true tourist, person, but it's come full circle, and, being able to work for, these bands now and being able to take shots and see my photos on billboards and in trade magazines. It's really something cool.
That's
that I've been
something
able
really
to
cool
do.
you do.
Yeah.
And you're
yeah.
good at it. I've seen the pictures. The pictures are so phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of what you accomplish with these artists, and they're so artistic looking and
Sure.
just so good. And so I couldn't be more proud of what
Yeah.
you've done and what you've become. It's truly amazing.
Well, you set the bar really, really high because you were the best at what you did. Everyone knew you.
Oh,
Everyone
now you're
listened.
praising him. Stop.
Everyone listened to you, and I'm
Stop.
like,
He's
okay.
still buying dinner.
Wait a- so if I'm going to be a protege of Mark Landis, I've got to knock it out of the park. I don't want to be substandard. I don't want to be somebody that Mark doesn't talk about anymore. But yeah, it's hard work. But it's really, really fun, and to be able to make you proud because you basically were the one that got me started in all this, and I just kind of ran with it. So.
Well, I couldn't be more proud. And that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about what I did in my whole career was one of the things that was most satisfying to me was all the people that worked with me or for me
Yeah.
that I watched grow into their own careers and
Yeah.
become very, very successful at doing that and continue to do that today. So that's very satisfying for me to see that. I always
I
want
can
to see
leave the
people.
room now if you guys want to come in.
Okay, we're going to drag this back to relationships
Sure.
because that's what this is supposed to be about. And Andy had always asked me this question, and she said, Coop is 50. Is he gay? What's going on? Like he doesn't have a
Well,
relationship.
here's the thing. Like
I've been asked that.
you
by the
got
way.
you are one of the nicest guys I've met, right? Like you're like this nice person. You have a nice personality. I mean, you're not ugly. You don't have like a falling eye or anything. Like at least you're right. Like
Sure.
you're this guy that you've never been married.
Never,
You don't have kids.
ever.
What's all that about?
Yeah, nice guys finish last, I guess. I mean, it really does, I think. Now, look, there was a time in my 20s where, I would go to the nightclubs, or as you and I say, the discoteca.
La discoteca.
Yeah, la discoteca. I went to the nightclubs and partied and did all that. But as you get older, you kind of like, maybe that's not important as much as making money. But I have one older brother. I saw him be married twice. My parents are still living, 85 and 84.
You take care of them, right?
And I'm a caretaker for my parents.
See, that's amazing. Like a person
And-
that does that.
And I saw this long relationship and saw how my dad treated my mother and how my mother treated my father. And I said, okay, if I get married, I'm only going to get married once.
Mhm.
And I know it's 50-50, right? When you go into something,
Yeah.
but still to this day, he opens the door for her. I don't know what it is. There's what used to be green flags for guys like me. No children, never been married. May have been an ex or two that was a little, but
There's
no
always that,
baggage, right? So what used to be, oh, that's a unicorn. We got to find somebody
Well,
like
because-
that has flipped now to
Usually, guys like you have bodies in the basement. Like you guys,
Right.
like you. Usually, they're
Right.
serial
Yeah, I have a
killers,
series
right? Like
on
man.
Netflix about
Ted
me
Bundy,
here that's coming out.
Like,
let the man have hobbies. I mean, let the
Yeah,
man
right.
have hobbies.
like you're so nice, and you have no baggage and no crazy
Yeah.
excess. Like probably they're in the freezer somewhere. So like that.
Yeah, and it's flipped, and I get asked that. So what's the problem? Why haven't you been married? You must have a commitment issue. Why don't
Do
you
you?
have children? I don't. I had before in the past. I think there's been several things that's kind of warranted different things. Pre-COVID, entertainment goes away. I focused on my career. Walls went up. I got hurt, heartbroken. I hate disappointment. I'm my major critic. I can look at a photo and say, oh man, I got to do this. I'm not a perfectionist, but my walls went up after a couple of long relationships where I was on the crappy end of it. Got broken up with, cheated on, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Walls up. I'm just going to.
I'm gay now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, give it a shot 1 year. If it doesn't take, it doesn't take. But at least you said you tried.
At least I tried,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Hey, we have really good looking gay friends out there. Like,
Yeah.
We have a ton of them.
if you guys, somebody's interested, give it a shot.
Hook you up.
He's a really nice guy. So.
So it's walls went up, and I didn't want to be disappointed, and I didn't want to date someone that I didn't think I would end up with 5 years later. So I didn't want to do the one night stand stuff anymore. Did that in my 20s, going out to the clubs, doing all that, being a bad boy. Not returning a page, because back then there were, pre-Andy, there were pagers. There were pagers that we wore on our
like
hip.
only doctors and like dealers had them, right?
Well, yeah.
And I guess you
serial
guys.
killers.
And serial killers.
Serial killers.
Like, so for my people that don't know, like they don't know what a pager is. It used to be like a little thingy that they carried in their like hips, and like you will call your doctor or somebody and like be like, hey, please page so and so, and you will give a little tiny message and usually like call me back or something. So
Yeah, they would give it would be a number to call
It'd be
back.
a code
number to call
back.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You would call
Or then
it.
we could figure out if you could turn it upside down, you could do words and stuff like that.
It's sad that she
Like
has to
calculator.
explain
Yeah, I have to explain
what a
the
pager,
pager
is.
is.
I only know them because my doctor had a pager. Like my pediatrician had a pager, and my mom taught me at an early age, you're sick, you call your own doctor. That's the only reason I know.
Was this your doctor in Mexico?
Yeah, my doctor.
So
in
it was
Mexico.
probably also a dealer. So it could have been either way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just saying.
We don't
saying.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So my
yeah.
range of dating has just been, because a lot of times now I'm at a nightclub inside a casino taking product shots of Bacardi, Tito's,
But there's so many
you name it.
women there, right?
And it's really, really young. And I've been there, right? I've been there. And it's hard to, young people like to go out, a majority of them, 3 or 4 nights a week. If they work in the service industry, their off nights are like
true.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Well, they're going to go out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
That is true.
And I'm not, and I understand their sacrifices too. It all in the beginning is pretty cool. You're going to take pictures of Lady Gaga tonight at the Toyota Center. That's cool. And then it gets to, well, why are you going to Bruno Mars? Why can't I go? Or why can't I do this? And then it starts, because my job, a lot of it is at night.
Right.
I do have a 9 to 5er. A lot of it's at night when I take pictures of concerts or events that go to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But I know you have to meet in the middle. There's sacrifices,
Right.
and I've made that. I've made those sacrifices, but it's just got a weird way of not working out a lot of times.
Right. I mean, I understand like human relationships are really, really complicated, right? Like, number one, meeting that person. I just feel like nowadays, I mean, we've been married for 10 years. I don't know how it would be for me now, today, to date people, right? Because number one, I'm older. I am 36 and I am tired of bullshit, right? I wouldn't know how to pretend to like somebody. Like when you start, like, and now with all the apps, I mean, I sound old, but when I was dating before I married you, there was no like apps and anything else, right? Like, so if you meet somebody, it will be like in person, right? Like you meet somebody at a bar or by a friend, like like in your work. And I mean, I understand that part of you, like your work also like doesn't allow you to meet like serious people, let's say, right? Because it's like people that are going out, they're drunk.
Yeah, and look, the apps, I've been there, done that, and a lot. You swipe right, swipe left, and then you develop a relationship over text, and it's not like in person. It's like you're just texting. Okay, do you want to meet? Does this work out this way? Then you do, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not the person that that I swiped right on. You know, this is a different person, or
Yeah, so their online persona is not
it's
the real
completely
person.
different, right? You know, it's like that's not the photo. It's very difficult. It is. There's not a lot of human interaction now when you go to dating and go to, you know, back in the day, you go to bars, or
Right.
you know, that's how you. Now it's over apps, Snapchat, Instagram. You're sliding into a girl's DMs. That's the norm
But
now.
I don't see you doing that. I don't see
I
you.
don't.
I don't see you being that creepy dude. Like,
No, I don't.
Because
I
you're
don't.
not
I've
that
become
person.
very nice, and that's
you are-
probably the problem. I've been told that's a red flag. You're too nice.
Yeah, because she was telling us today that I guess there's a hereditary thing behind the bad
Yes.
boys thing, why women are attracted to
Sure.
bad
It's not
boys.
hereditary. It's an evolution trait that women, we like the bad boy kind of persona because we, as an evolutionary thing, we used to seek that in our tribe, right? Like the bad boy that could protect me and my tribe, my people, my everything. So it's all part of that toxic masculinity, right? That we grew up with, and that we think that if somebody is nice, that somebody is really nice. Whoa, there's
Yeah.
something wrong.
You're gonna
with
get ran
you.
over. You
Yeah.
can't
They're
stand
weak.
up for
Oh,
yourself.
they perceive him as
It
weak.
is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like you're not gonna stand for me,
Sure.
or like, I mean, I gotta say it. This guy, my husband, he's one of the nicest people I know. I can defend myself. I will never ask him to defend me because I can punch somebody. But and I can. I don't need him for that. But I know he will never like not stand behind me trying to protect me. We'll put that on a test one day. We'll see what happens. But
Golly.
I understand that. Like, if I will just meeting you and you're telling me you're all this nice person and everything, I'm like, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've received that a lot. And then
And I don't blame you. I blame
no,
us.
look, and I understand, and I've tried to
because we're messed up.
hide certain things. I'm not going to be a dick.
Right.
I'm just not.
Maybe you have to be a
I
little
was
bit
in the past. I do. I have to learn to kind of turn that on. And then
Have
when
to.
you get in the part where, oh, I'm like a major caretaker for my parents because I'm very close to my mom and dad. Always have
That's
been.
amazing.
And that in itself is a full-time job.
Yeah, and you even have an older brother that doesn't really help, though, correct?
Right. He hasn't. He's in his own world. And so it's been me. And especially during COVID, you know, my dad, congestive heart failure, you know, all this stuff.
Your
But
parents are in their 80s?
they're in their 80s. My mom just turned 84. Bless her heart. The nicest human beings in the world. And there's probably a lot of times where, no, you need to go out and be yourself and do this. And there's a lot of times I don't choose to that because I know, okay, this may be the last birthday I spend with them. Right.
That's cute.
And so you know, and a lot of women don't like that. They see it as a negative. They see it as a red flag. Well, it just happens. It is. Now, some don't.
But we are
Ones that
really
just want to
messed
hook up, but just ones that you like, okay, I want to spend a lot of time with and maybe the rest of my life with. A lot of them don't like that. Why are you choosing to go shoot concert photos over me tonight? I want to go see this movie.
Well, because that's your job.
Or what? I tell them that. Well, you can do it tomorrow. Well, no, Lady Gaga won't be here tomorrow.
I know, right?
She's in
Like,
Europe
sorry,
tomorrow.
lady.
You know, and it's like,
hold the
well,
concert
can't your
for me.
brother help? Why do you have to go to the grocery store for your parents? Your dad kind of drive. It's gotten very, very kind of. So the walls went up. I did everything, and then I started dating and going out. I dated older women.
How was that?
It was interesting. I've never dated someone really older than me. I'm 50 now. I've dated in my late 40s. She was in her mid 50s, but I dated someone in their mid 60s who was widowed. And I thought it was great. It was pretty cool. But her friends and her children didn't think it was very cool. They
Because
gave
you were
her,
younger?
I was younger, and you don't look 50. You don't act 50. You look more like you're in your 30s or 40s.
I can see that.
And that, you know, hey, look, I was most humorous class clown, class of 1993 in my high school, right? So, you know, but I know when the turn that on. I know when to turn it off. And I get her side of it. So, but I liked her. I had a crush on her. I thought it was really, really cool. And she goes, well, I'm going to be, 70 and you're going to be 55. And I'm like, I don't care. That shouldn't matter if there's ages involved. And then when it's flipped, I'm 50 and I'm dating a 23-year-old. I'm the age of her father. That's very odd. And normally doesn't
Trust
work
me.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Because I'm sitting here 25 years older than
Yeah,
her.
but not everybody's me. Sorry.
And
It's not. It's
yeah,
not.
And
It's
she
not.
she doesn't act like
I am not.
mentally and emotionally and maturity wise, she doesn't act like a much younger person. She falls asleep before I do.
I do.
So
I am. I'm an old lady. I just like to Netflix, and then I'm just like,
yeah. Last night I think she was asleep at 7. So as I was still
Yeah.
watching television, football, I turned it on.
Yeah,
football.
but did it once ever go through your mind, the age difference when y'all first met? Or was, hey, I'm clicking with this guy. He's nice. I don't care what people say. Or did you battle with that?
I kind of battled a little bit, but honestly, I've always loved older men.
Okay.
I don't have daddy issues or anything because my dad was the greatest dad, and I really enjoyed my time with him. But man, I really like older men, like Harrison Ford. If you're watching, hit me up. Like I really like
Yeah, I'm
older men.
competing with Indiana
Jones, right? And
Hey,
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Whoo! Like I don't like I never liked people my age, and honestly, like I am sorry, guys, like, but we women mature more like faster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the issue I had with was mostly, I mean, I don't know, like him having a little bit of baggage behind, like he has been married before, he has kids, which his daughter Tiffany, she's my best friend. We're the same age. She's
Now, is that interesting or difficult
Not at all.
for you to?
Not at all, because you would think it would be, but Tiffany also works for us in our beauty company, our beauty brand company. She works for us. We talk to her. Her and Tiffany talk probably 10 times a day. Most every day. We're actually leaving, to see them as much as possible,
Yes.
and they try to see us as much as possible. She'll come to Europe to see us, and when we're over there, but they get along very, very well, and there's no weirdness about that.
Well, it was at
whatsoever.
first when I met her. I was like, okay, is this going to be weird? But her
Yeah.
and I like exactly the same things. We are very much alike. And when we are together without you, we usually like, people are like, oh, so what are you guys like? I was like, some people think we're dating, honestly. Like there was this time we were like business traveling and we were on like having dinner, and I don't know how, like people like, oh, who's like the waitress at the end was like, oh, who's paying for the like she thought we were dating or something. I was like, okay, no, we're not. But we're like this, I don't know, like sisters. She's also my stepdaughter, but she's also my best friend, and it's just a weird thing. And I honestly love her.
That's pretty cool, though.
To death.
Yeah.
I
and
call her my
yeah.
Sour Patch because she's the cutest person, but she could also be so mean. She's a meanie, and I adore her. Like I cannot see my life without her and him, right?
And Tiffany's, what you said that she's 1 year older than she
yeah,
is.
I'm
Yeah.
1 year older.
Yeah.
It's
I've tried the long distance relationship where I live.
Oh, that wouldn't work for me.
I tried that and it did a little bit, but then it's just so much pressure. Like, okay, do you spend this weekend with the person and do you have to work this week? Or my off days are different than her off days, on Mondays and Tuesdays,
Right.
which are busier than mine. It's hard. It's hard being single in 2024, especially when you live in a smaller community.
That is true. You live in
You know a
Yeah.
lot of the people or whatever it is, and it is again an industrial part of the state of Texas where I live is a lot of oil and gas, and that's dominated by the workforce. And there's a lot of people that work at the plants, and they have the 8 to 5 or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on
the shift work.
the shift work,
Mhm.
and a lot of women want that.
Yeah.
They want to have dinner at the same time. They want to have this at the same time.
They want to have like a normal kind of like
The
a
normal average,
relationship.
yeah. And nothing I do, I don't think is normal anymore.
But then you also meet all these women, like you
I
told
do.
me, that
I do.
are like already like in their fourth marriage,
I do.
because that doesn't work for them either.
No. No.
And so we, again, we want this normal thing, but then we also want this bad boy thing, but we also are not happy with that. But then when the nice guy comes, I mean, thankfully my nice guy came and I took advantage of it. But if a nice guy comes, then we're like not sure about it.
Yeah, and when you're in a relationship with someone and you're cheated on by the bad boy that she's had to put and I didn't want drama. If I want to be in I try to stay drama free.
Right.
And I know life has its ups and downs all the time. But when she has to put a protection order against this guy and then she's cheating on you with this guy, it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to live that way.
Better. I apologize because
no.
No. I don't know. Again, like I said, like if I wasn't with him now, I don't know what my life would be.
Yeah.
I don't know what my dating habits would be. I used to date like really bad guys. And when I say bad guys, I mean like bad. If there were bad relationships, there were toxic, toxic relationships, and I've healed myself a lot through them with him, and that's why our relationship works because I've changed. If I was the same person I was back in that time, I don't think we will be together. Because we have toxic traits.
Sure.
Why are you going out right now?
Constantly texting, hey, why didn't you text me back? And it's like a couple hours later when you text someone
still
back.
That person.
Are you?
Well, I mean, we're together 24/7, and I'm like, why are you on? Why aren't you answering the phone?
Yeah.
In the restroom.
Yeah.
I know you have your phone.
I'm not far away. I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
I know you have your phone with you when you're pooping, so I know you're not answering.
Yeah. And I've been the friends with benefits thing. And the things that you miss are, I'm old fashioned, the holding hands, the kissing and stuff like that in public and all that. But I've kind of learned, here's a red flag. I've learned to be really independent. And I know a lot of women don't like that. A lot of women want some codependency on them a little bit, but I've learned to be very, very independent, strong-minded, boom, 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 work, try to keep a doctor's schedule and work as much as I can. And I know a lot of women that don't like that. But again, though, I know you have to meet in the middle and I know you have to sacrifice things.
Yeah,
but it just seems like when you do, that's when the knives come out. And it's just like, I've put my walls up. I'm not getting hurt. I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to bring this person home to my parents. And then 2 months later, they ask about this young lady. She's nowhere around. That's a thing. Yeah, I know. I've been labeled a softie a lot.
So what's the future hold? What do you see in your future? What's your priority and what are you hoping happens?
I don't want to die alone. I look at my parents and they have each other. So it's on the list, the priority list, to find someone to spend the rest of my life with.
I mean, ladies, if somebody's watching and you really like this guy,
send the
message
applications
us.
through
Send
these
the
two.
applications. I mean, we're
or
not
you can
selling-
make comments. Obviously, yeah. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You're welcome to send questions, and we can pass along to Chad as well.
Yeah,
I swear he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's not a serial killer or anything.
yeah,
he's just a nice guy.
Yeah, but it's on the priority list to make that a priority and to stop working in trying to be the best at this because I'm running out of time too. Because you're never guaranteed tomorrow. You're just not.
That is true.
But
I could say the same thing,
Yeah. So it is. It's. I don't want to force it and just settle, but it is a priority to find someone to fall in love with and whether we have dogs, cats, tarantulas, raise baby raccoons, something.
I want baby raccoons. Can I be
come
the
see y'all in
godmother?
Spain.
Yes,
with
all the raccoons.
Yeah. So it's definitely on the priority list to get it going here.
She says this all the time. She says, what would you do if something happened to me? I'm like, you're 25 years
you'll
younger
be
than
dead.
me. You're going to live a lot longer than I am. And she goes, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. And so what's your plans? And I said, I can't even imagine. She's talking about she doesn't want to date. I can't even imagine
yeah, brother.
going on dates. I was telling her and Tiffany, we're all having this conversation at dinner. And I said, yeah, if something were, God forbid, to happen to Andy, there's not a chance in hell I'm going to be dating. I said, I'm going to go out. I said, what I'd
Sorry,
really like to
ladies.
do, I said, what I'd really like to do is find a man that I could really have a close relationship and talk about sports all the time and go to sporting events and do that kind of stuff. And I said, if I could be like, be like gay, but without the sex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like had a relationship.
So you mean just having
Tiffany
a
goes,
friend.
you mean
A
a
friend?
friend? She goes, Dad, I think they call that a friend.
Spot on.
Yeah.
I was like, it might be it.
Yeah.
So, I'm just looking for that at
Yeah.
this point.
Just like a friend.
You're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about a friend. Well,
No.
if we get anybody that sends us messages, we'll pass them along to you. Like and subscribe, ask questions, anything you'd like to do to the channel, and hopefully we'll have updates on what's happening. We'll stay in touch with you.
Absolutely.
And girls,
Absolutely.
we really need to do better. Don't settle for the bad guy. Don't settle for that. It's okay. It gets better than that.